Hey guys, tonight we're stepping into the damp, echoing cobblestones of 18th century Paris, a city that never truly sleeps, but prefers to dream with one eye open. You're about to take a job no one volunteers for, a Parisian night watchman. The bells of Saint-Sulpice have just struck midnight, and your shift begins under a moon that looks more like a dimly lit candle than a celestial guide. The streets stretch wide and empty, black as spilled ink. You pull your cloak tighter, the wool scratching your neck. The air smells of smoke, bread gone stale, and something faintly metallic. Maybe fear, maybe the same. You probably won't survive this, by the way. Statistically, most watchmen didn't last long. The job didn't come with armor, or even proper shoes. But hey, it's 1780 and the rent's due. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is there right now. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You trudge past shuttered bakeries, each one glowing faintly from the day's lingering heat. There's no electric light, no street lamp, no handy flashlight app. Only the moon, the stars, and a few dim torches burning near the richer neighborhoods. The poor quarters, completely dark. Paris after sunset is a different city altogether. The church bells are your only clock. Each toll slices through the quiet, bouncing off stone walls and whispering down empty lanes. Somewhere, a cat yowls. Somewhere else, a man coughs behind a window. That's all the company you get tonight. Historians still argue whether Paris in the 18th century was truly dangerous, or whether people simply feared the dark because they couldn't see what was out there. But ask any watchman, they'd tell you both are true. Your job is to keep the peace, though no one can quite define what peace means. Maybe it's keeping drunk nobles from falling into the river. Maybe it's scaring off thieves. Or maybe it's just walking the same streets over and over, reminding people someone's out there listening. You carry a wooden staff and a lantern that smokes more than it shines. You pass under archways so narrow your shoulders brush the walls. Rats scattered from your boots, the real citizens of Paris at this hour. The echo of your steps doubles back at you, so convincingly you half expect to see someone following you. Every corner hides a story. That tavern on Rue de Four, closed for curfew, but inside someone's still gambling by candlelight. The faint clink of coins tells you enough. A drunk hums a tune from a nearby alley, off-key but heartfelt. You pause, half tempted to join in, but your orders are strict. Keep walking. The city's pulse depends on your steady rhythm. Somewhere near Pont Neuf, the fog thickens. You can barely see your own hand, let alone the path ahead. But you keep moving, because stopping means inviting whatever lurks in the mist to introduce itself. And Paris at this hour has too many introductions you'd rather skip. One odd detail you'd notice, the smell of burning tar. That's the pitch-covered ropes used to light the occasional torch posts, a failed experiment by the city to make nights safer. Historians note they mostly succeeded at making everything smell like a shipyard instead. Still, there's something soothing about the silence, the kind of quiet that swallows thought. Your heartbeat becomes the metronome of the night, steady, slow, echoing against the cobblestones. Somewhere deep down, you realize this is what it means to guard a city that doesn't even know you exist. You stop at the end of Rue Saint-Denis, lantern trembling in your hand. The glass flickers as the flame fights a soft breeze, painting golden shapes across the slick stones. It's here, between bakeries and brothels, that the real Paris begins. You're not just walking streets, you're patrolling the bloodstream of a restless city, each artery pulsing with secrets. Your uniform is simple: a rough wool coat, a tricorn hat that's seen too much rain, and boots that complain louder than you do. Around your belt hangs a short halberd, half spear, half walking stick. But your most precious possession dangles from a leather strap, a ring of enormous iron keys. Each one weighs nearly a pound, and every clank announces you like an accidental herald. The keys open city gates, storehouses, and prison doors. You could vanish into the night and unlock half of Paris if you wished, but you're too tired to wish for anything except sunrise. The oil in your lantern smells sharp and bitter, a blend of whale fat and resin. Historians still argue whether Watchmen mixed in garlic or vinegar to keep away spirits, or just amassed the stench of rotting refuse piled high in the alleyways. Either way, it doesn't work. The smell follows you, clinging like a curse. Your patrol map is unwritten, stored in your muscle memory. Down this lane, turn by the well, count 7 doors, then cross the bridge. You pass the butcher's stall, locked tight, the last trace of meat long gone. You knock twice on a shutter, a signal to another watchman somewhere nearby. 2 knocks back. You're not alone, and that helps, slightly. Every hour you shout the time, just loud enough for drunks to curse you from their windows. It's 1 o'clock and all's well, you call, voice scraping against stone. The irony isn't lost on you. Half the city's starving, and you're announcing wellness. Still, your echo feels reassuring, as if your words keep the dark from swallowing the streets whole. A stray dog follows for a while, tail low, sniffing the air for adventure or scraps. You toss it a piece of stale bread left from dinner, and it trots beside you like an unofficial partner. You call him Capitaine. He responds by sneezing and wandering off towards a gutter. Figures. You hear something, a metallic tap, soft, deliberate. You raise your lantern. A man in a wide coat slips between 2 buildings, gone before the light catches him. Maybe a thief. Maybe a lover sneaking home before dawn. Either way, not your problem, unless he's carrying something that belongs to someone rich enough to complain. Historians still debate whether watchmen like you were truly the city's protectors, or just early noise deterrents, meant to make the poor think someone cared. Truthfully, you don't know either. You just know the pay arrives late, the nights last forever, and the coffee in the morning is cold by the time you get to it. You approach one of Paris's massive wooden gates, thick planks bound with iron. Each district locks up after dark, so you check the hinges, test the bolt, and move on. The gate key clinks against the others, its cold weight a reminder this entire city sleeps behind your watch. Somewhere to your left, a window creaks open. A woman's voice floats out, "Quiet for heaven's sake." You grin. She's right. But the silence she asks for is the one you're paid to disturb. You pass a lamppost and notice its flame is out. You pause, pull a small flask of oil, and relight it. The flame blooms weakly, a fragile flower in a garden of shadows. For a brief moment, the world seems alive again. And then, just as suddenly, the wind steals it away. You sigh, adjust your hat, and keep walking. Somewhere ahead, bells will soon mark 2 o'clock. And you'll still be here, pacing the bones of a sleeping city, pretending that your lantern's small circle of light can keep the darkness at bay. The bell of Notre Dame tolls twice, and the sound ripples across rooftops like a slow wave of iron. 2 o'clock, the hour when even ghosts grow tired. You pause, listening. The city exhales around you, a soft murmur of the Seine, the groan of wooden beams shifting in the cold, the faraway bark of a sleepless dog. Somewhere in the maze of alleys, a bottle shatters. You turn your lantern that way, but see nothing. You keep moving. The Seine flows black and wide to your right, glinting only where moonlight kisses its restless surface. Paris depends on this river, for trade, for water, and sometimes for hiding things better left unseen. You know the stories. Everyone does. Thieves who vanish with loot and never reach the next bridge. Lovers who quarrel by the riverbank and only one returns home. Historians still argue whether those tales were based on truth or were just bedtime warnings to keep children indoors after curfew. Either way, they work. You pass under Pont Marie, the oldest bridge still holding strong, though its arches weep with mildew. The air grows colder here, thick with the smell of fish and rot.
You tighten your grip on the halberd, more for comfort than defense. That's when you hear it. A splash. Not the lazy plop of driftwood, but sharp, deliberate. You swing the lantern over the railing. The water churns briefly, then smooths over, silent. Was it a rat? A man? A trick of the current? You'll never know. Keep walking, you whisper to yourself. That's the unofficial motto of every watchman. Never stop long enough for fear to notice you. Up ahead, the silhouette of a man leans against a wall. His hat's pulled low, face hidden. Evening, you say, cautious but calm. He doesn't answer. You take a step closer. Then he bolts, darting into the alley so fast his boots slap like gunshots. You chase, the lantern swinging wild. He turns a corner, you follow and find nothing but darkness. He's gone. You lean against the wall, catching your breath. The lantern's flame flutters, revealing the faint chalk mark of a circle with 3 lines, a symbol thieves use to mark safe houses. You spit on your hand, wipe it clean. If the lieutenant finds that in the morning, there'll be trouble. Back on the main street, the night resumes its rhythm. Your footsteps steady again. The smell of baking bread from a late-night bakery somewhere. A blessing. For a moment, you envy those inside. Warm ovens, laughter, perhaps a tune hummed softly over the crackle of fire. You have cobblestones and silence. Still, the quiet has its own beauty. The way your lantern makes the puddles shimmer like tiny constellations. The way every sound, every sigh, every whisper feels personal. Paris doesn't belong to kings or merchants at this hour. It belongs to you and your shadow. You stop by the river again. Floating downstream, a candle bobs in a small wooden bowl, a ritual offering for lost souls. It drifts past, glowing faintly like a memory refusing to die. You cross yourself out of habit, though faith feels distant tonight. Maybe it's drowned with the candlelight. Historians still argue whether Parisian night watchmen were heroes or nuisances. Some say you were the first defenders of urban order. Others claim you were just hired to shout the time and scare beggars. The truth probably lies somewhere between the river's edge and your aching feet. A chill wind sweeps through. You pull the cloak tighter. The flame flickers again, weaker now. You can't tell if it's the oil running low or the night getting thicker. Either way, you press on, because stopping means surrender, and Paris doesn't reward surrender. The city behind you sleeps, dreaming of daylight. The one before you waits, darker, quieter, heavier. You keep walking, each step a heartbeat in the long, sleepless body of the city. You turn onto Rue des Lombards, where the air smells faintly of damp hay and spilled ale. The lantern's glow throws trembling shapes onto shuttered doors. It's past 3 now, the hour when sane men sleep and only stories walk the streets. Somewhere far off, a rooster crows too early, confused by a flicker of moonlight. You smirk. Even the animals don't trust Paris nights. A faint rustle breaks the stillness. You stop, listening. There, behind a barrel, the quick scurry of rats. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Their eyes flash like beads in the lantern light. You nudge one away with your boot. They hiss, then vanish into a sewer grate. You exhale slowly. The rats are harmless, but it's never the noise that frightens you. It's the silence that follows. The wind drifts low, carrying voices, not human, but the strange symphony of the city. Shutters creaking, ropes slapping against masts at the river docks, the soft moan of the breeze sliding through iron railings. Paris whispers constantly, as if trying to confess its sins when no one's listening. You wish it would stop. You rest against a wall, rubbing your hands to warm them. The stone feels cold, damp, almost breathing. Someone once said the city itself was alive, that every cobblestone has heard secrets it dares not repeat. Historians still argue whether that was poetry or paranoia, but to you, it feels real. You hear footsteps, not yours. Another set, light and uncertain, somewhere behind. You turn. Nothing. The street yawns open, empty. You call, "Who goes there?" Silence. You wait. A gust of air knocks the lantern flame sideways, shadows lurching like startled ghosts. Probably the wind, you mutter, though you don't quite believe it. You keep walking, passing the small chapel of St. Nicholas. Its doors are locked, but you can smell the candle wax seeping through the cracks, leftover prayers still burning in the dark. You make the sign of respect and move on. Halfway down the street, a door opens just enough for a face to appear. Old, wrinkled, framed by a nightcap. "Watchman," she croaks. "There's something in the alley again." You sigh. Every night it's something. A cat, a drunk, or worse, a rumor. You step inside the narrow passage, lantern raised. The light crawls over walls slick with moss, broken crates, a shattered jug. And then, a whisper. Your name. Soft, unmistakable. You spin around, heart thudding. No one there, just the echo of your own breath. You laugh under it, trying to sound braver than you feel. Paris plays tricks, you tell yourself. But it's true. The city breathes its own myths. The talk of night demons, of beggars who vanished without a scream, of watchmen who followed strange sounds and were never seen again. You used to laugh at those tales. Now, you just try not to think about them. Rounding the corner, you meet your fellow watchman, Henri, lantern glowing faintly like yours. He grins. "Still alive?" he jokes. You nod, more relieved than you expected. You talk briefly about the fog near the river, the thieves near Les Halles, and the strange noises both of you pretend not to notice. Before parting, Henri hums a tavern tune, off-key, but comforting. "Keep your lantern lit," he says, fading into the mist. You intend to, but the oil is almost gone. By the time you reach the next square, the stars have dimmed.
The city smells of smoke again. Somewhere, someone's fire has burned too long. You stop to rest a moment near a public fountain, its frozen trickle catching the faintest glint of light. The world feels suspended, like it's waiting for something to happen. And in that stillness, you realize the city isn't just full of sounds, it's full of listeners. The walls, the stones, even the wind, they all seem to remember every story whispered after dark. Yours will be one of them someday. You take one last breath of cold air, push your shoulders back, and continue. The lantern sputters, coughs, and steadies again. You walk on because you have to. Dawn is coming, but it's not here yet. And Paris, even half asleep, still needs watching. The eastern horizon blushes faintly, just the slightest shade of gray against the black sky. It's nearly 5. Another hour and the first carts will creak through the gates, bringing milk, bread, and the illusion that the world's always been calm. But for now, the city is still yours. You cross the Pont au Change, boots clattering softly over the worn planks. Beneath, the Seine murmurs like a half-asleep storyteller. You spent a lifetime on these bridges, and yet every crossing feels different. The wind here smells cleaner, touched by the promise of dawn. You pause midway to watch your reflection ripple beneath the lantern light. It looks older than you feel, though you're not sure which part is lying. They say watchmen like you fade with the sunrise. That's not poetic exaggeration, it's history. By the late 18th century, Paris was preparing for a new kind of guardian, the organized Garde de Paris, the early version of the police. Your breed, with lantern and staff, would soon vanish like mist. Historians still argue whether that was progress or tragedy. Some say order improved. Others swear the city lost its last bit of soul when the human voice stopped calling the hour. Your boots squelch in a patch of mud near the fish market. A merchant is already setting up, eyes bleary but hopeful. "Morning, Watchman," he calls. You lift a hand in return. For him, the night has ended. For you, it never really does. You pass another watchman, heading home, yawning. He mutters about his aching knees. You nod, silently united by exhaustion. In daylight, no one sees you. They see only uniforms, orders, officials. But at night, you're what keeps their dreams from spilling into chaos. A stray note of music catches the air. Someone strumming a lute inside a tavern just reopening. The tune is soft, nostalgic, maybe even hopeful. You stop a moment, letting it drift through you. You imagine what it must be like to sleep without fear, to lie in bed while someone else guards the darkness. That thought alone is almost enough to make you smile. You approach the final checkpoint, the city gate. The guard on duty nods as you hand over your key ring. The metal feels heavy, like surrendering a part of yourself. Each key clangs softly as it joins the others on the hook. One last echo, one last reminder that your watch is done. The sun edges higher. Light leaks down the narrow lanes, revealing puddles, torn posters, and the faint trails of footprints, yours among them. By noon, they'll be gone. But somewhere, someone will tell a story about the night, about how the watchman roamed through fog and silence, keeping monsters, real or imagined, at bay. And maybe, years from now, when tourists walk these same streets, they'll hear a sound, just a faint voice carried on the wind, calling softly, "It's midnight, and all's well." The story slows now. You can feel the pace of the city easing, the tension unwinding like an old rope finally given rest. The lantern light in your mind flickers, then steadies, painting a calm glow across cobblestones that no longer echo with fear. You're still there, somewhere in that soft gray hour before morning, watching the first slant of sunlight crawl up the stone facades of Paris. The river sighs, the breeze warms, and the shadows begin to fade into color. Everything that frightened you just minutes ago, the noises, the whispers, the unseen shapes, turns out to be harmless. Ordinary life returning to motion. The night wasn't cruel, it was simply honest. It showed you what the world looks like without distraction, stripped of its brightness, raw and breathing. Now, as your heartbeat slows, imagine yourself setting down the lantern. Its glow becomes softer, golden, like the last thought before sleep. The city fades, but its rhythm stays with you. The gentle tapping of boots, the hum of faraway bells, the whisper of wind through iron rails. You take one deep breath, then another. The darkness doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels peaceful, like the quiet space between dreams. And when you finally close your eyes, maybe you'll hear it faintly, the echo of your own footsteps, still walking through the streets of old Paris, calm, unhurried, eternal.